And a very good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club for another edition of This Week in Army Football as we get set for the final two home games of the 2023 season. Army hosting Holy Cross coming up on Saturday, and then Coastal Carolina, of course, next Saturday. Black Knights coming off their biggest win of the year in their biggest game of the year so far. Out in Denver, 23-3 over Air Force. First leg in the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy race for the Black Knights. Army can win the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy outright with a victory over Navy on December 9th. Army has clinched at least a tie for the CIC Trophy. And joining us off the practice field, how about This Week in Army Football? Welcome to the star of our show, Jeff Monken. Jeff, welcome to the show. Congrats on that huge win 1 week ago.
It was a good win, Rich, and I was happy for our team. They really showed a lot of resiliency after what had happened the previous 5 games, that stretch. Man, there was some frustrating days in there, but you know that I was just so pleased with how they approached the week. A lot of confidence and just a very professional, business-like attitude. They knew we had to get a lot of work done, transitioning from the UMass game to an entirely different offense and certainly a different defense approach than what we were going to see. And those guys handled it really well. Coach Woody, Coach Thatcher, our staff put together a really good plan, and our guys did a great job executing. And there's so much emotion in those games. It was great to see our guys get out to a great start and not allow the emotion of the game to really affect the execution. And that's what I was most proud of. And to get that early start, get some turnovers, made a huge difference and found a way to the victory circle.
Seemed like that confidence, that intensity really manifested itself in the pregame of that game on Saturday. You guys were out there on the numbers waiting for Air Force to be announced, and it gave me memories back to the 2017 game out at Falcon Stadium where you guys came out and it really determined the outcome before the game even began. Tell us about the intensity the day of the game and leading up to it. Was it at a different level than you would expect or experience?
You know, ironically, I was a little concerned before the game that maybe there wasn't that intensity because there was just this calm and this professional, business-like attitude that morning and the day of the game. And sometimes it's just hard to read, but I know that our guys were ready to execute the assignments and the fundamentals and all those things. How they would play when the ball got kicked off, sometimes you just don't know. And a lot of it has to do with the other team. But our guys were ready, and they didn't allow just the excitement of the moment and the intensity of the rivalry and just how bad we want to win. It's not about that. It's not how bad you want to win. That team over there on the other sideline wanted to win badly too. It was a matter of execution, and our guys really handled it well. And perhaps it was just the business-like demeanor that they had that allowed us to do that. So I was happy with our guys, and I was most pleased after the first touchdown that the offense regrouped and they just went back out there and did their job again. And after the 4th down stop, the defense went right back out there and played another tough round of plays. And you know, you can let the excitement of the series before affect the next one, and they didn't do that all day long. And that was just a great sign of leadership and maturity.
We said it on the air, and a lot of folks after the game saying it, that you guys just came out and punched them in the face, right? And there was no response. How important was that opening drive and, of course, the Bryson Daly 62-yard touchdown run?
Well, that was great for the confidence for our offense and for our team to get a lead and kind of take a breath. You know, you got the lead and you know that they've got to catch you now, and they're capable. They got a good football team, but our defense did a terrific job on that 4th down and getting the ball right back, and we were able to get points off of it. And I couldn't believe when I looked up there early in the second quarter, it was 20-0 already. That almost never happens in these games. It hasn't happened since I've been here.
We don't sometimes get 20 total points in these games.
That's the most we've scored since I've been here in Academy games. So that, you know, 20 points was pushing. We had 23 at halftime, and that eclipsed our point total for the 19 games I've been here.
Jeff, the touchdown on the opening drive by Bryson Daly, then Air Force goes for it on a 4th and 1 from their own 34-yard line. You stop them. Does that become a motivating point of, is that disrespect that early in a game that in their own territory they feel like, hey, even if we don't get it, our defense is going to hold them? What's the mindset of a coach when you see that?
I would have gone for it at 4th and 1 in the very same spot. So, we go for it on 4th and 1 just from anywhere. And I think they have a confidence in their offense, and they should. They've been really efficient and really good on offense all year long. So to line up on a 4th and 1 and go for it at that point, that I don't know that they would even had to debate that over there. They were going to go. Our guys made a good play. We were able to get our pad level below theirs and kind of stop the initial charge of the line, and then all the guys behind the linebackers and safeties, those guys kind of hit the pile, and there was no place for him to go. So it was a great stop, and really that was a huge momentum boost for us. And it does emotionally. It charges the team, and the offense all of a sudden, they got a short field and they're staring at the goal line. It was a huge boost for the team.
Leo Lowen, 12 tackles. Bo Nicholas Paul, 2 big interceptions, a host of fumble recoveries, 6 turnovers in total for Air Force in that game. Jeff, that second half just seems so tenuous and tedious. I was just looking up, wanting the minutes to tick away. How is it for you as a coach, knowing you've got that 20-point lead? And I'm sure you're tweaking things maybe a little based on the margin there in that second half.
Well, certainly were. I knew they were capable of scoring and scoring quickly. They've hit some big plays against other folks, and their quarterback does a good job pushing the ball down the field. And I really wanted to get another score to stretch that lead. I frankly was not comfortable with where we were from a lead standpoint until probably under 5 minutes in the game. So you think of the mindset of a coach, you're thinking these guys can score, onside kick, go score again. They're one onside kick away from taking the lead. And so my nerves were bad until under 5 minutes. And Bryson about popped out of there on one of those. We hit on the 3rd down, we hit T-Rob on the wheel route and extended a drive. And I thought maybe we would go down and get points there. But every time we turned to 1st down, and you saw that clock start to run
2-3 more minutes.
Yeah, that was that kind of allows you to take a breath. So,
Jeff, late in the first half, right? You're up 20-0. They kick a field goal to go 20-3. Then they take timeouts on defense to get the ball back. And I'm thinking,
wisely,
if they score here, right, a half of domination, 28 minutes of domination is only going to be 20-10. How big was the pick by Bo Nicholas Paul to then set up that field goal running off the field?
To get the points there, to stretch it back to 20 for the lead, that's 3 full scores. They were going to have to hit 3 touchdowns and 3 extra points in order to take the lead. So that was a huge score in the game. And as I said afterwards, I can't believe that the halftime score was the final score. But as you said, that second half was just tedious and tenuous. If the first half looked like the second half, I don't know what the game would have looked like in the second half. Usually those games are just like the second half. Guys just ramming their heads against the wall, 2 teams just slugging it out blow for blow. And fortunately, we were able to get a lead early and hold it.
And then in the back of your mind, late first half, right, they take the timeout to get the ball back, is they're going to receive the second half kickoff. So if they go in 20-10, and then they have the kickoff, it might be 20-17 the next time you see the football. So that pick was so big by Bo Nicholas Paul. So emotion after the game. What is it like after a Service Academy win?
Well, for a coach, I can tell you it's just relief. But there's a lot of excitement and celebration certainly, and our players were so excited and just enjoying the moment with each other. Those guys have invested so much in each other. They love each other, and it's that commitment and trust that they've built. Not just in a week of practice, and it doesn't just happen and you flip a switch and that happens when you play an academy game. It's just what they've built over many years, and since we started preseason camp with our rookies, just a great celebration. It's fun to watch those guys enjoy it, and and celebrate a victory like that.
10-4 in your last 14 Service Academy games. Since 2016, your team has 10 Service Academy wins. Air Force has 9, Navy has 4. When you got to West Point, you talked about not only winning, but sustained excellence. What does that say about what you've built?
I think just for what our players have done and the commitment that they've made to trying to be the best Service Academy team in the country. And, you know, it's a challenge every year and every time we play them. And the teams, regardless of the records, seem so evenly matched in those games. It's just it's a game of wills, and two teams just toughing it out and slugging it out to the end. And I think the tougher team ends up standing at the end, and sometimes it's us and sometimes it's them. But I'm really proud of our guys and our teams over the course of the last 7 years to be able to accomplish what they have in terms of the Academy wins and Commander-in-Chief's trophies. And I'm glad we've got a chance to play for it again this year. You know, what Saturday did is it just gives us a chance to play for a championship.
We talked about it off the air last week. The last time before Saturday, Army had defeated a ranked opponent was Air Force on November 4th, 1972. 51 years to the day, November 4th, 2023, you knock off Air Force, number 17 in the country. That's a watershed moment. That's the first AP ranked win. Now, Navy was 25th in the college football playoff poll back in 2016, but a lot of folks deal with AP polls, Associated Press. That's some accomplishment.
It was a great win, and you know that we've had a lot of cracks at it over the years. As you know, we went to number 5 Oklahoma and took them to overtime. We went to number 7 Michigan and took them to double overtime. We've had a few cracks at it, and I thought we were going to get one of those, but the ranking really, I don't know that adds any more pride to the victory than just beating Air Force. And those two teams that fight for the same trophy that we're competing for, we want to win over them, and it doesn't matter the record or the ranking or anything. And just the accomplishment of beating those guys is a huge feather in the cap for this 2023 team.
Air Force is actually ranked 2 spots higher than LSU was when you met them back in October. So you face one ranked team, you beat a ranked team, you turn it around and face another ranked team, though out of the football championship subdivision, and that's Holy Cross, one of the finest teams in the FCS. They were a quarterfinalist 1 year ago. They went 12-1. They have one of the most dynamic players in all of college football. Their quarterback, Matthew Sluka, big deal for them coming up to West Point and play this game. What are your thoughts on the Crusaders?
They've got a great football team. They're very well coached. They're very talented. As you mentioned, the quarterback. What they do with him running the football is as impressive as anything. But he's also a 1,000-yard plus passer. They've got an excellent football team, and to win 12 games in a row as they did. They were 12-0 when they lost in the quarterfinals.
South Dakota State, which is a great team.
They're competing for the national championship every year. This is their second FBS game, so give them credit. They're playing really good competition. They lost to Harvard, who's got a good football program and a good football team, and one team in their league, which was surprising. I mean, they are the dominant team in that league right now, and I think people that really know college football understand that there's not a whole lot of difference between Holy Cross, a really good Holy Cross team, and a Group of 5 football team. In fact, they should have beaten Boston College, and Boston College is now a bowl team. So they're perfectly capable of beating us, and it's going to take a great effort on our part to win a football game on Saturday.
And Joe Chesney doing a great job as head coach of Holy Cross. We're here with you on This Week in Army Football until 8 o'clock, talking everything Black Knights, Holy Cross Crusaders coming up on Saturday. You can watch via YouTube Live or Facebook Live. Drop your questions in the Facebook comment section. We will get to them tonight. And back on the wireless microphone, Corey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Rich, and congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you, Corey.
What a game.
It was a great
so
game.
great. It was so fun to watch. For our listeners, I know you guys have got questions for Coach on the Big W this past weekend, on how they're going to respond against Holy Cross this Saturday. So please drop them in the comments, and we'll get them answered.
Well, thank you, Corey, and we look forward to this show tonight. And coming up, our special guest, and Jeff, someone who works very closely with your program and actually helps us book our guests on this show. That's a little, maybe people don't know that. Class of 2011, Major Zach Peterson.
I didn't know he was helping book those guests.
He does.
See, that guy's a jack of all trades.
No doubt.
He is. He can do it all. What a great guy. Former player. Awesome to have him in the building with us to just be a support to our players. He mentors those guys and guides those guys. To have guys that have played in the program, served in the military, still serving in the military, they're qualified to help those players with things that those of us that didn't serve and didn't go to school here, they do things for them that we can't. And so Zach does a wonderful job, takes a tremendous amount of pride in his job as our admissions liaison, and so it'll be fun to have him on the show.
No doubt about that. Major Zach Peterson coming up in just a moment. A reminder to everyone watching, this will be the final episode for your chance to win 4 tickets to Army versus Coastal Carolina on November 18th at noon at Michie Stadium. Each question, a new QR code will appear. Remember to please scan the code each time so your answers can be recorded properly. Okay, let's test your Army football knowledge. QR code is on the screen. Remember, the fastest answer will win. Here's question number 1 for tonight's episode. Army and Holy Cross have faced off 24 times over the years. In what year did Army play Holy Cross for the first time? 24 previous meetings between Army and Holy Cross. What year was the very first meeting? Scan the QR code, get your question in, and when we come back, we'll catch up with Major Zach Peterson here on This Week in Army Football, live from the Cadet First Class Club, right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
It was a wonderful day, wonderful game. That whole week, it was just a great week of preparation.
It meant a lot. It was a great win. We played great on defense, which I was super pumped about. But really just see all the seniors make as many plays as they did. It was a great one to be a part of.
O-line came out just wearing out the D-line. Our receivers wearing out their secondary. The running backs. Coach Page had the running backs blocking their tails off, and that led to some big open holes, and I was able to escape on one of them, and that led to that opening punch.
We were fired up. We were ready. By the time it was game day, the game was already won before it even started.
I think Coach Woody does a great job with the game plan. Always just trying to do my assignment the best I can. I think I just had some opportunities come my way this game, so I tried to make the most of them.
It's a big win, but with big wins, just like with losses, you got to move on. But I think it's important to carry this momentum going forward, keep that confidence rolling.
Definitely gives us a little more confidence knowing that we can be that good. So we just got to go out there and prove that every game now. Can't just have that be a one-time thing.
Just focus on what's in front of you and what's in the moment, be in the moment. Day by day, reset, refresh, get better 1% every day. Regardless of any external, internal factors, just sharpen the iron every single day, and that's what we try to do.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team? West Point,
where leaders are made.
And welcome back to This Week in Army Football. Army fans, a friendly reminder that Tuesday, November 28th is Army West Point Giving Day. Giving Day is your chance to directly support the Army West Point athletics teams that mean the most to you. Contributions made on Giving Day will enhance our ability to develop leaders of character through an extraordinary Division I athletic experience. Visit ArmyWestPointGivingDay.com to make an early gift today. Time now for our special guest, and I got a lot of questions for both Jeff Monken and our special guest about what the Army football team did on Friday, the day before the Air Force game. But first off, let's give them a welcome. Part of Army's 2010 Armed Forces Bowl championship team, class of 2011, now admissions liaison working with the Army football team, Major Zach Peterson. Zach, welcome.
Thanks for having me on, Rich. It's good to be back for another year on the show, and happy to have the Threads on this year.
No doubt.
Support the team. Yeah.
You were very into the Threads, and you know, hey, you need to work with the show. So Zach books our guests. He works with me to book the guests and booked himself tonight. Very nice.
Well, when you can't get anybody else, I guess he just slides right in, you know.
Okay.
He probably did that conveniently.
Before we get to the questions about Zach, we're going to talk about Friday. The Army football team went out to Colorado on Thursday. Get acclimated with the air, the elevation. You practice at the University of Colorado, which has really become it's like the Hollywood of college football, you could say, with Coach Prime. And who was there at the beginning of your practice, Jeff, to spend some time with you?
So Coach Prime came out, and it was awesome. He's very gracious as a host, and I think he's a great guy. So Charles Kelly, who's a good friend of mine, is the defensive coordinator there. He and I worked together at Georgia Tech, and he loves Coach Prime. And I've had a chance to talk to him several times throughout the season, and even as they went through their winter workouts and spring football, and you know, I've come to admire Coach Prime and the way that he runs his program. He's a stern disciplinarian, very detailed, but he has fun coaching football and has fun with his team, and that's proven by all the stuff that you see kind of surrounding it. And you know what? You should. The players should enjoy it. It should be a great experience. It should be the greatest experience they've ever had in sports. So he's just a gracious host, and really stood in the background and let us do our work, and just wanted to come out and watch and say hello to everybody. So it was really nice. He didn't talk to the team or address the team or anything like that. When he got out there, we were kind of in the middle of practice.
Sure.
And going through our stuff, but it was great to have him out there.
So he snaps a picture with you, Jeff, and then congratulates you on the win on Saturday night. That was really cool.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. He just the persona is different than I think the person that he really is. He's really cares very much about people, and is very in tune with people he meets, and getting their story and encouraging them, and just who he is. So that was much appreciated for sure.
And you've been a fan all year. We've talked a lot about Coach Prime on this show. Now the real story, though, is if you went on Coach Prime's Instagram reel, right, where you can post what he's done in the last 24 hours, there was a picture of Coach Prime and one Major Zach Peterson wearing the mirrored sunglasses. Actually, your handle was tagged. So Zach Peterson, I mean, you had a little bit of an agenda trying to figure out how to meet him. How did that come about?
Well, yeah, it was a really cool event, and you know, one of my duties on the staff is to get out to these away sites ahead of time and set conditions, do walkthroughs, get ready for the team to show up. So I was actually in Boulder Wednesday doing a walkthrough of the facility, and we happened to run into the campus store where they were selling a pair of these sunglasses, the Primes, which they've got the same colors as us, and that's really cool with the black and gold. So I picked up a pair of the Prime sunglasses that you just mentioned, and as Coach came out to meet Coach Monken, I just happened to see him, and I said, "Hey, Coach, big fan of you. Thanks for allowing us to use your facilities." And he saw the sunglasses, and he was like, "Let's get a picture." He tagged me on the Instagram, and it was really cool.
How many more followers did you get?
Probably about 100.
Whoa. Wow.
See, that's
pretty good one day toll right there.
That's the story behind the story. right, is that Zach Peterson ends up meeting Coach Prime. So, okay, Coach Prime out of the way. Zach Peterson, you relish everything you get to do with this Army football program, so I don't think I need to ask you what it means to be part of this. But just take us through when we hear, admissions liaison. That's a heavy load when we're talking about getting kids into the United States Military Academy.
It is a big load, and I think as I've gone into year 2, there's 2 things that have really jumped out to me that have changed from year 1 to year 2. And the first thing is, as I've realized, I'm one of the first few people to interact with our commits that are going to be coming here. So being that I'm in that spot and have that role, I've really taken on a mentorship type position with our incoming class to really prepare them for what it means to be an Army football player and what life is like here at the academy and what they will eventually go on to do. The second component that's changed into this year is I'm much more integrated into our recruiting department. There's a natural alignment within admissions and recruiting. So I'm nested into the planning and the communication, and we've got a few of those staff members here with Austin and Pat supporting the show tonight. So it's been really good to be integrated with them more this year, and there's just a natural fusion for our ability to recruit and then get people into school.
Jeff, what's your expectation out of Zach's position?
Oh, really, just to be that mentor and to be that guide for the guys that we get commitments from. And Zach mentioned, it is such an important role because our recruiting our coaches on the field, they're assigned a certain area of the country, so they become the lead recruiter for guys in a geographic area. But we also include the position coaches, the coordinators. I do plenty of contacts, calls, and letters and those kinds of things with our prospects. But once they're committed, there's a process then to get them into school. And they've got to go through the same process as every cadet here at West Point. And to have that guidance from Zach and to have somebody they can call and get those answers from is really, really critical. So many cadets that come to school here, they've been planning this their whole life. Or when they got into high school, it got introduced to them, and they're okay, I'm going to really pursue this West Point thing. So they know all the steps, and they kind of got each part of the admissions piece set up for them, and to include the nomination letters that they send, or the request for the nominations, the guidance counselor and their teachers, and the cadet fitness assessment test. For our guys, this is all brand new to them. A football coach introduces them to West Point, and they say, yeah, I'll think about that. Well, they come and visit, and they say, what a great place. Yeah, I want to come to school here. They're way behind everybody else. And that's where Zach steps in and really helps them through the whole process. And I don't know that our prospects could get through it without Zach stepping in.
Zach, let's talk about your time as a cadet and a cadet athlete, 2007 to 2010, and part of that 2010 Armed Forces Bowl championship team. Take me through your 4 years.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and we went through a number of staffs. There was some adversity with that. Coming in my freshman and sophomore year, going 3-9, and then building to that bowl team my senior year, where we won the Armed Forces Bowl, went 7-6, and we really felt like elevated the program to a level. But I can tell you, like, we've gone above and beyond that.
That's what I was going to say. What are your impressions of where Jeff Monken has taken this program? We talked in the first segment, sustained excellence. That's 10-4 in your last 14 Service Academy games.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've been back now. This is my second year, and as a player, I was 0-8 against Air Force and Navy. And in my second year on the staff, I've been a part of 2 Academy wins. A Navy win last year and then Air Force last week. And I can't tell you how emotional I get when I watch our players play in those games, and last week in particular, with the intensity and the effort and how hard they're playing, because I know that is going to translate to when they get out on active duty. And that's why so many people, so many units, and so many organizations want a West Point football player, because they're going to bring an intensity and an ability to handle pressure that will translate to whatever the mission is. And so that toughness and that culture that we have here is something special, and it's different than when I played and different in a better way.
Jeff, you must hear that a lot. Folks that were around the program, members of this program, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and no academy wins. Very rare to have success against Air Force and Navy.
Well, those players were as invested as our players are. They wanted to win, and they put the time in and put the effort in. They cared just as much as our guys have. What our guys have done is just build a team and build a cohesive unit that was capable of getting the job done. And many years we're just fortunate to win. We just made a few more plays, and a lot of times that's all it is. It's just finding a way to make one more play than the other team. And the credit goes to our players. Those guys are the ones that got to make the plays out there, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for our players over the course of the last several years that they've been able to have some success. I'm disappointed and regretful that we weren't able to win all of the other ones. I want to win every single one of those games, but I'm glad we've won more than we've lost, and I hope the trend will continue, Rich.
No doubt about that. Zach, take us back to that 2010 Armed Forces Bowl. For me, it's the Josh McNary fumble return on the third play, and then the Trent Steelman to David Brooks first down to clinch it.
Yeah, we had some special players on that team that really went on to have great careers after that game. You mentioned Josh McNary. He played in the NFL. Trent Steelman was the quarterback in that game, a 4-year starter here at the Academy. So we had a great group of teammates and a lot of seniors who did a great job to get us into that position.
Jeff, this is a great part of your staff right here.
It is a very important part of our staff. I'm glad he's with us, and we're going to try to keep him around as long as the Army will let us.
That's right. Zach, got to get an extension here somehow. You got to work on that, okay? He's Major Zach Peterson joining us here on This Week in Army Football. Zach, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on. Thanks, Rich.
Class of 2011 here at West Point, Major Zach Peterson. Now on to question 2 of the Trivia Challenge. This one, a layup. Scan the QR code, remember. Major Zach Peterson played with Army football from 2007 to 2010. What bowl game did Major Peterson and Army win in the 2010 season?
Lob that one up there, Rich.
So we're giving you the answer.
Yep.
We gave you the answer.
I didn't know the first one, so that's
I didn't ask you that. Well, that was so.
Whoever's
who's
on
going
that.
to know that?
Well,
it's the first one. 24 times against Holy Cross. What year was the first
Somebody
one?
out there answered it in a hurry. I know it. Yep.
Okay. Well, watch us Facebook Live. Drop your questions into the comments section. YouTube Live. We'll get to those questions coming up in just a moment right here on This Week in Army Football, live from the Cadet First Class Club at West Point across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Thank you.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall.
He'll take the chicken fingers.
But with the money you earn from your PenFed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of supporting his dreams will always be worth it.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back.
USAA? You were in the military?
Oh no, I wasn't, but my grandpa was. He joined USAA, passed membership to my mom, then to me.
There's other ways to get in?
Yeah. My neighbor Ron, he's in because his wife served. Even little Luna, once she's born, her dad served.
So all this time I could have had USAA insurance.
And banking.
Where's my phone?
Over there.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
Army has the most Heisman winners of any service academy and is one of just 11 schools with 3 players winning the award. In 1945, Mr. Inside, Doc Blanchard, captured the trophy after rushing for 722 yards and scoring 17 total touchdowns. Army went undefeated and won the national championship for the 2nd straight year. His teammate, Glenn Davis, Mr. Outside, who finished runner-up for the Heisman in both 1944 and 1945, would go on to win the award in 1946. Davis put together one of the most statistically dominant careers in college football history, averaging 8.3 yards per carry, a record which still stands today. In 1946, in 10 games, Davis scored 13 touchdowns and picked up 712 yards on the ground, while racking up 348 receiving yards and passing for 396 yards, as Army won the national title for the third year in a row. 12 years later, Pete Dawkins won Army's third Heisman. In 9 games, Dawkins gained 1,200 all-purpose yards and scored 12 touchdowns, as Army finished undefeated and ranked third in the country. Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis, and Pete Dawkins, Heisman Trophy winners who provided countless memories for Army football fans at Michie Stadium.
Meet the Chevy ZR2 family. They'll never let you down. With features like DSSV dampers, MT tires, and an off-road performance display. When the going gets tough, it's a family you can count on. Introducing the Silverado, Colorado, and Silverado HD ZR2 family of trucks.
And welcome back. Eisenhower Hall Theater at West Point is back with a full season of entertainment. Enjoy Broadway musicals, plays, family-friendly shows for the little ones, and live concerts. Visit iCall.com. Save up to 20% with a season subscription. Get your tickets now at iCall.com. That's iCall.com. Back on This Week at Army Football, Rich DeMarco joined by Army head coach Jeff Monken. Awesome to spend time with one Zach Peterson. One of my favorites.
He's a great member of our staff, and just very humble and hardworking. And as I said, his job is invaluable. There's nobody else on our staff qualified to do that. So he's an important piece to the future of the program for sure in recruiting.
So Jeff, you meet Coach Prime on Friday, and now today another person who's taken the media by storm. You're on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't listen to Pat McAfee show. I don't listen to any of the radio shows or I guess that's what you call them.
Entertainment, sports entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, online or on TV. I really haven't got time for that. But I see him on College Game Day, and he's certainly quite a personality. But it was fun, and he and his crew there, they're very colorful, and they don't hold anything back in terms of their descriptions.
No,
and
they don't.
Plenty of expletives, and but you know, they've got an audience and they've got a niche, and he's an entertaining guy. It was fun to talk to him today. It was great to talk about Army football and have a chance to do that on national radio or a national show like that.
And we've gone so long. We've had such good segments so far tonight. We're going to squeeze in some questions here. Corey, our first question for tonight's show.
All right, Coach. Our first question is from one of our most loyal listeners, Anthony John. He said, Coach, how does such a convincing win over a fierce rival prepare your team for the final stretch of the season?
I hope it just is an indication of who we can be as a team, and that team will continue to show up this Saturday and in the Saturdays to follow. So I thought our guys played very efficiently, obviously on offense to start the game and being able to score like we did. Defense just played it incredibly well. Obviously it's a different offense. That's different than we'll face throughout the year. Different this week, different against Coastal Carolina. It's different from what UMass was and LSU was, but our defense just really did a great job and played with incredible intensity. They tackled really well. We tackled better this past game than we have all year. So hopefully that'll continue. And that there's certainly some carryover there.
Jeff, how about special teams? Quinn Moretsky, 3 field goals, including a career long-time 45-yarder. And I'll tell you, Cooper Allen, he kicked really well on Saturday, and that was good for him with the year he's had.
He did. Cooper did a nice job and flipped the field a couple of times. Quinn Moretsky was fantastic on Saturday. Just to step up there and ice water in his veins in a huge football game like that, hit a really long field goal and 2 others. And those are big scores in the game. 9 points in that game, that's a lot of points.
And I tell you, 45 yards twice this year, right?
Yep.
3 field goals also against UTSA, including a 45-yarder. And, of course, that performance in the Army-Navy game last year I will never, ever forget. Next question for Coach Monken.
All right, Coach, this one is from Shannon Wallen. And you kind of already talked about this a little bit, how great the defense played this week, the amount of turnovers the team had. And she said, the defense forced 6 turnovers this past weekend. How did those plays fire up the team?
So the caused fumbles are really big. The one he was throwing a pass and it just fell out of his hand. We had great fortune there. A couple of times he threw it to us. The pick right before half, the pick at the end of the game. They're just trying to make a play and a little bit of a desperation situation in both of those instances. But the caused fumbles where they were running the football, one by their running back, one by their quarterback, those were big takeaways for us. And when you get a turnover, you don't have to send the punt block team out there. The field doesn't get flipped with a long punt. All of a sudden, your offense is out there with a lot shorter field. It's a huge boost for everybody. So those were all very big plays for us.
And we will have more this week in Army football coming up in just a moment. It's Army and Holy Cross on Saturday. You're watching This Week in Army Football across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Nothing better, man. Just a great team win.
Yeah! We alone, baby!
I love this team, man. So proud to be a part of them. I just can't wait for the next one. This is brotherhood. That's Army football.
I go to the best academy in the country. It's so much history, so much love behind this game. At the end of the day, we brothers in arms, but it's a beautiful game, man. We did it. We did it. I'm proud of this team. I love this team.
Offense plays the tail off. It's about culture over here, man. I love these boys. Let's go, baby.
I love this team, man. It's a special feeling. Go Army.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/Westpoint to learn
2 minutes
more.
to we're back. 2 minutes. 1 minute till we're back. 1 minute.
All
30 seconds till we're back. 30.
And welcome back to This Week in Army Football, brought to you by West Point Family and MWR. FMWR offers horse sporting, golfing, skiing, catering, camping, many more activities and programs. Visit westpoint.armymwr.com for more information. And like I usually do every show, forgetting to do the last question before the break, but we're going to do it right here. Our next question of the night, QR code on the screen, true or false, Army and Holy Cross have only ever played each other at Mikey Stadium. That's a good one.
Yeah. 24 times. That's I don't know the answer to that question.
I would
24 times you.
I would give an uneducated guess to that, but I don't know. Okay, QR code, scan it. We're just rolling right along. Corey, a couple more questions for Coach. Get the microphone.
Customary to have the microphone.
Sorry. I was just about to talk to you. I didn't even have the mic.
You were talking to your phone.
That's how comfortable we are
We get so used to that with the phone.
That was so embarrassing.
That's how comfortable it is.
Okay, here we go. I'm so sorry. Okay, we've got this question from Allie Deering. She said, Bryson Daly made his starting return this week after 2 weeks and immediately made an impact. How important was his return to full health for this game?
I don't think there's any question that him being on the field was the difference for our team in winning on Saturday. He is such a tough runner, and we asked him to carry the ball a bunch on Saturday. The quarterback run game was a big part of our game plan, with the thought that he would be the guy carrying it. If it were Champ or Larry or one of our other guys, I'm not sure we could have put 36 carries on one of those other guys, but he just did a great job, and I'm glad he was healthy enough to play. He wasn't 100% when he took the field, and that, a lot of people didn't realize that. He had been hurt in the Troy game, didn't play at all against LSU, the game against UMass, he kind of just pushed his way through it. It wasn't until probably Friday of last week that he really felt like, I'm starting to feel pretty good. But I don't know that he was 100%. But man, on Saturday he played like he was 100%, and I was really proud of him.
How are you health-wise this week?
We're good. We had a couple guys on Saturday that got some injuries that we're still a little questionable on for Saturday, but we had a walkthrough today. We'll have practice tomorrow, and some of those guys that were hurt on Saturday are going to practice tomorrow. It'll give us a final evaluation to see where they're at going into Saturday.
It's Army and Holy Cross coming up Saturday noon at Mikey Stadium. One more round of questions coming up in just a moment. You're listening. Actually, before we go to break, we're going to go to question number 4.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, QR code. This is a quick segment, so I didn't want to rush it, but we'll do it now. So final question for tonight's show, QR code on the screen. Army Athletics has its fair share of multi-sport athletes. Football is no exception. Which Army wide receiver, who's had some pretty good games of late, getting more reps, which Army wide receiver plays another sport at West Point?
I know that one.
I know that one too. It's a good one. Coming up next, one last round of questions. We'll wrap things up here on This Week in Army Football, live from the Cadet First Class Club, right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are made.
Everybody in that stadium, everybody watching that thing on TV, they just got introduced to the last of the hard. I don't know when I've been more proud of a football team. And during the last 5 weeks, we lost some games we could have won, but you never wavered. That is the black flag culture. Come on, that is. And that's how we won the football game. We cared, we had a purpose. That's what we can be. That's what we should be every time we play. That was Army football. That was rolling your sleeves up and getting in a fist fight and winning the fist fight. Persevere, 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 and the tide will turn. We're going to celebrate this victory, and then, like professionals, we're going to get back to the next one.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
And welcome back to the show. Army West Point Athletics would like to thank its restaurant and tavern partners, Brothers Barbecue and O'Toole's Pub. Check out the restaurant and tavern partners portion of GoArmyWestPoint.com for more information. Support those who support the core. Final segment, and we're just going to get right into it. I think we have time for 2 more questions.
All right.
So, Corey, let's go.
All right, cool. This one is from Rich Plassick. He said, in a 4th and 1 situation, will we see the QB under center in the new offense?
Oh, I like what we're doing right now, and the thing is that we train our guys from January through preseason camp for a season, and what we do is what we do, and we've been able to make some 4th downs and some 4th and 3s and some short yardage goal line plays with what we're doing, and I like what we've got. I like our short yardage run game. So, people ask about the tush push and all that. That's great. And we've run plenty of quarterback sneaks in the past, but I think there's Yeah, without revealing anything that we're going to do on certain plays, I think what we're doing is good, and it's been able to get us some short fourth downs.
Last question for Coach.
All right, Rich, this is a curveball for you. For you specifically, actually. So this one is from Corey Elitch. He's one of our most loyal listeners. And he said, a question for Rich. He wants to know how the voice of West Point came to be and what has this academy come to mean to him?
Oh, I like this one.
That's a good one.
I knew you would, Coach.
Hey,
I knew you'd like this one.
Applied for the job, 2004, got it, and it's just a great place. It's just a great place to be. So it's awesome.
Why West Point?
Why not? It's the best place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best kids, it's the best athletes, best coaches, best place to be.
There you go. The voice of Army football radio.
There you go. Okay, enough about me. Question time, answers. Thank you for everyone who participated. Okay, you had a chance to hear all these trivia questions. Now here's your chance to give us your answers. Army and Holy Cross 24 times over the years. In what year did Army play Holy Cross for the first time?
I don't know.
1914. I wouldn't have known that.
That's a long time ago.
14-0. So that's what, 110 years ago.
The national champions that year, 1914.
Army was 1914 and 1916, along with 1944, 1945, and 1946.
Not bad pulling that one, Rich.
5 national championships for Army. Zach Peterson played with Army football 2007 to 2010. What bowl game did Major Peterson and Army win in the 2010
Armed
season?
Forces Bowl. We're undefeated in that bowl game.
Absolutely. True or false? Army and Holy Cross have only played each other at Mikey Stadium.
Surprisingly true.
It is true. Army athletics, fair share of multi-sport athletes. What other sport does Army wide receiver? What Army wide receiver plays another sport at West
Casey
Point?
Reynolds, Cold Spring Harbor, New York.
Lacrosse. Not surprisingly.
Yep.
Long Island won the national championship.
Right.
Jeff, good luck Saturday.
We'll need it, Rich, and man, it's going to be a great day. So everybody come on out and cheer us on.
No doubt. Steve Tucker, General Manager of Army West Point Sports Properties. We thank him. Tony, back at the station. Skylar and Jimmy here at the Cadet First Class Club. We would like to thank Major Zach Peterson, our guest for Corey Young Hands. Army head coach Jeff Monken. Rich DeMarco saying so long from the Firsty Club. Army and Holy Cross coming up on Saturday. Thanks for watching, listening. Have a great rest of your